I love the outcome of this look, but I see where I made some mistakes. But nevertheless, let's get into it. Hello, MBT Beauties, and welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, God bless you. If you are new to my channel, God bless you even more. Make sure that you hit that like button, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. So, I know I'm supposed to be providing content about lifestyle, devotions, and beauty, and I do some more beauty than I do anything else, and I've been slacking, so I do apologize. Now, with that being said, let's go into prayer. Normally, I would ask you to bow your head and close your eyes, but I want you to continue to see what I'm doing. So just humble your heart and let's go into prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I come before you just wanting to say thank you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for allowing me to see another day. Thank you for another opportunity at life. I'm still here, therefore I know I still have purpose. Lord, I ask that this video somehow blesses someone else, whether it's something that I say, something that I do, something that they learn from this tutorial, whatever it may be, Father God. I pray that I am being used as a vessel as you have called me to do. And Lord, if there's anything that your people are in need of, especially me, Lord, grant it anyhow. We love you, we adore you, and we praise your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so I am finishing up my skin prep by using e.l.f.'s Grip Primer, which I highly recommend. That should be a part of everybody's kit, whether your skin is oily, dry, a combination. Grip Primer by e.l.f. will get you right. So here I am filling in her brows, which I was not happy with that left brow. Wait, is that my left? I think so. Yeah. I was not happy with that left brow. And it wasn't until after the fact when I was like taking photos and putting this video together that I noticed like I just wasn't happy with it. And I was trying to figure out why. And then after looking at the video for numerous times, it hit me. Her baby hair on the left side is so much deeper than it is on the right. And it was in my way. I could not do what I wanted to do. It also didn't help that I didn't have tape to lay her baby hair down. So I was really trying not to like move them, but at the same time work around them. I'm personally not a fan of baby hair like that, but to each his own. Only thing I would say is if you plan on getting your makeup done, make sure they're not touching your brows. Make sure they're not in the way so that we as makeup artists can do what we need to do. Now, because her brows are naturally full, I was very light with the strokes with me filling in her brows. As a matter of fact, I was actually contemplating like what color I wanted to use as far as like the pomade to fill in her brows. I used my chocolate from Sound Off Cosmetics because it matched her natural brows. But now that I think about it, I probably could have like hid her natural brows and conceal the whole thing and just create a whole new eyebrow to match her hair. Cause I just felt like it was too dark, but then I was like, it's still kind of cute. So I don't know. I don't know what y'all think. Like when you have blonde hair, should you have blonde eyebrows or should you just go like a light shade of brown? Or what would y'all prefer? But anywho, here I'm just concealing the brows, giving them a more clean, precise look, as well as creating the base for my eyeshadow. This is actually a 2-in-1 step. You can prime your eyes using, actual primer, or you can use concealer. To me, it's just easier to use concealer because you're already using it to, shape out the brows. Now, I'm no makeup guru, but here's one of my tips that I love to give to people who are beginners in makeup. Less is best, especially when you're using wet products. or even, anything when it comes to makeup, but more so with wet products, especially concealer and foundation. You don't want to apply too much of either because it's going to be hard to set it in place, and you don't want to use too much setting powder to even out how wet it is. So when you start off with little, you can always add more to it if need be. That's why I say less is best. And plus, it's easier to fix when you're using like minute or a small amount of something rather than a whole lot, and then you have to wipe your face completely off. Like, you don't want to do that. So I did end up adding more concealer, and then I'm going to set it with my setting brush. I highly recommend purchasing Real Techniques. That's the name of the brand. Real Techniques setting brush. I think I got this off of like Shein or Temu. Not knocking them because this brush does exactly what it needs to do, but it's just something about Real Techniques. You know how you compare like Publix fruit to Walmart fruit? Like, which one would you prefer? Exactly. So if you have the funds, definitely invest in Real Technique brushes. So again, I'm just setting in the concealer. As you can see, I'm not swiping, I'm patting the product in. You don't want to swipe because you end up ruining the foundation of the product, and it's just a mess. So you always want to pat, pat, pat. No swiping. Swiper, no swiper, okay? Here I am using setting powder to set the concealer just a bit more. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but sometimes I prefer to do it, especially when I'm using vibrant colors. If I'm using like, natural tone colors that are close to your skin tone, sometimes I skip that step. But if I know I'm using color, I definitely use setting powder to set the concealer that I've placed on the eyelid. Now I'm concealing the top of the brow. I noticed when I first started that the color was way too light. When I am concealing the top of my brows, I like to use a concealer that is the same shade as the foundation, just because I don't want to give her halo brows. Me personally, I like to take it back to 2016 and have halo brows every now and again, but I just felt like that wasn't necessary for this occasion. So I did go in with a darker concealer to make sure that I corrected it. The key to winning the makeup game is blending. So blend as much as you need to. And one thing that I like to do when I am blending the top concealer of a brow, I like to use that color or whatever is left on my brush to go down the bridge of her nose in between the brows, just to give it a more natural look. If you ever feel like your brows are too dark and there's just no fixing it because you've already used the product, you can always use concealer or a setting powder to give it a lighter look so that it's not so harsh and it's not so dark. Wait, let me clarify. Use the remaining concealer that's on the brush. Don't dab your don't dab your brush in some more concealer to add to your brows. Use whatever is left on that brush to make it less harsh. And if there's nothing left on the brush, then use setting powder to lighten it up. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. So because my client gave me a smoky eye look with like red glitter, I placed these little eye thingies. I don't even know what they're called, to be honest with you. But I placed them underneath so that it can catch any eyeshadow that drops. I like to use these, especially when I'm using dark colors, just because I don't have time to be fixing any little droplings that come from the eyeshadow. As I mentioned, I am doing a smoky look, so I'm going in with a not so dark of a brown, but a brown shade to go ahead and like start the, how do I want to put it? Like, I guess start the smoke. I don't know how to explain this. I can show y'all better than I can tell it. So anywho, I started with my lightest shade of brown, and then I'm going to go in with a darker shade, and then I'm also going to add some black. But as you can see, I'm patting the color in, or packing the color that I want. And then once I've packed the color I want, I'm using like light strokes, like light brushing to blend it so that it doesn't look so harsh, and that it has that like even gradients look. Like you never want to be able to tell one color from the other. Like it should all flow together. So because I noticed that the first shade of brown was not blending in with like her brow area, the tip of it, as you can see, I used a fluffy brush to use a even lighter brown, the one that actually matches the concealer, to blend it all together so that it doesn't look so harsh. I don't want to keep using the word harsh, but I guess that's the best way to explain it. Here I'm adding that darker brown just a little bit beneath that first shade of brown. I'm packing in as much as I want just so I can get that smoky look that she sent me. I probably should include a picture so y'all can know what I'm referring to. So here I am, packing and blending. You want to do this until you have it in your soul that it is where you want it to be. Now, as beginners, you may just be like, well, I don't know. Always refer to your picture. If it doesn't look like a smooth transition, or it just looks like it needs a little bit more love, more blending, by all means necessary. Please continue to blend it till you can't blend no more. That is why they say blending is a cardio, because baby, your hand and the motion, that's an exercise. So might as well get, a little fitness in while you're trying to get fabulous. So this is where I started to pack in the red and add the other elements to this look. I did record it, however, because I was very focused on the mission, on the look that I was trying to achieve, my not so done hair was in the way, and I just did not want y'all to see me looking the way I was looking because it just was not YouTube ready. Now this is somewhat of a better angle. Now let me tell y'all, I created a new trick, and maybe others have been doing this, I don't know, but when you're doing makeup, you have to think of on-the-spot things to do when you don't have what you need. Now, my client was getting ready for homecoming, and she is wearing a red sparkly dress. So the look that she gave me, it was very sparkly, and it was red, and it had like that loose glitter. And I did not have red loose glitter. For some odd reason, I thought the big 64 box from the crayon case had it, but it has like the matte eyeshadow. It's not like that. I don't even know how to describe it, but like that loose glitter. But it did have a gold loose glitter, which I even asked. I said, hey, which are you wearing like any gold or silver? And she was like, gold. So I was like, this is perfect. So I packed on like that gold loose glitter that I saw, and then I added the red eyeshadow on top of it. And voila, it worked. Once I'm done with the eyes, it's pretty much a breeze. So, of course, I chose an eyeshadow. Oop, not an eyeshadow. I chose a foundation that matches more so her chest area. And I had to mix some colors together just to get, the right shade. And I think I did a pretty good job. Here, I'm patting in that foundation. Again, swipe or no swiping. You can swipe the foundation on the face. However, to set it, remember, pat, 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 no swiping. And make sure you get that neck area too. You want to get as much full coverage of the face and the neck, close to the ears, just so it all blends together. I try my best not to apply the foundation to the areas I know I'm going to place concealer, because again, you don't want to have too wet of an area on the face, because you will have to set it till it's no longer wet. And one of the mistakes I noticed with this look is that one eye is darker than the other. So her right eye, like the brow area, it's still light, which is what I wanted. And on the left, it's more darker, which I was trying to prevent that because I didn't want the smoky eye to take over her entire eyelid. And you can see where I tried to make the correction, but it wasn't hitting like I wanted it to. But it's all good. She loved it. Just make sure I need to do better the next time. Alright, so now it's time to highlight some features of her face. So I am going to use a lighter concealer, a concealer that is lighter than her foundation shade, and I am going to make light strokes underneath her eye. Some people do it how I'm doing it here, others just use like a dot of concealer. I think it all depends on the look that you're trying to achieve, and again, less is more. So you can use a dot of concealer and blend it out and it looks amazing. And you can do what I did and be there sitting there, setting it until I can't set it no more. I don't know. My hands do what they want to do when I'm working sometimes. And so, yeah. And then I kind of wanted that like winged, lift her eyes kind of look. Like they're already chinky, but it's just something about making them a little bit more chinkier. I just love it, and I hope others do too. And one thing to note is that you don't always have to highlight. If you want just a face full of foundation, that's fine. If you don't like foundation, you can use strictly concealer. It's all about what you prefer. And then when it does come to highlighting, you don't have to highlight in all the areas that most people do. Like I didn't have to, highlight the bridge of her nose. I didn't have to highlight her chin. But those are the features that I wanted to, per se, highlight. So that's why I did it. But again, you don't have to. It's all about what you prefer when you're doing your own makeup or when you're getting your makeup done. I have some clients that love a snatch nose. I have some that love their bell pepper nose and they want to show the fullness of it. So it's all about your preferences and what you like. So I did set the concealer on her face with setting spray, and I allowed the concealer to dry a bit. While I was allowing the concealer to dry, I went ahead and I selected her lashes. The reasoning behind allowing your concealer to set in place is that it gives better results. If you just automatically go into like setting it with a setting brush immediately after you've placed the concealer, it doesn't look as good. But when you let it sit for a little while, I say about 1 or 2 minutes, and then you go in with your setting brush, I promise you the results are like 10 times better. Once I've set the concealer with the setting brush, I then go in with contouring. Again, it's not necessary, but she was trying to be an IG baddie, so I had to make her one. Needless to say, I used Black Radiance contour palette. I swear by those things. I have the light to medium, the medium to dark. I think that's how it is. Light to medium, medium to dark. There's like 3 of them, and I use all 3. Like, they're the best. When contouring the nose, I like to use a small, angled, fluffy brush. To me, it just gives better results. And when contouring your nose, you want to follow like the anatomy of your nose, if that makes sense. Like, it's easier for me to explain it hand in hand rather than trying to explain it in a video. Does that make me less of a makeup artist? If it does, charge it to my head, not my heart. So here, I'm just using the same brush I used for her foundation to just blend everything out. It's perfectly fine. So remember when I said to allow your concealer to sit for about 1 to 2 minutes? Like, that's your opportunity to go ahead and choose your lashes and apply your lash glue, and to allow the lash glue to get sticky. A lot of people's issue is they apply the lash glue and they go immediately to their eye. No, you have to allow the glue to get sticky. Otherwise, you're just going to create a mess and it's not going to stick and you're not going to be happy. So save yourself the frustration and allow yourself to be a little bit patient and let the glue get tacky. I promise you, you will appreciate me for telling you that. Here I am applying blush. I absolutely love blush. Like, the same way lashes make a difference, blush makes a difference. And I like to place it right above where I contoured her jaw or her cheek. That's like the perfect placement for blush. But again, do as you please. After that, I am using highlighter. Like actual highlighter. We're not highlighting. We're using highlighter to highlight our highlight. Does that make sense? And I just love highlighter. Some people say like there's an age limit to how much highlighter we should be using. I just go with the occasion and I go with the flow. If the makeup gods tell me to use highlighter, then that's what I'm going to do. And there I go blending again. Like, there's no such thing as too much blending. You will do yourself a favor by continuing to blend as much as you need to. And especially if you're working on a client, like, you definitely want to make sure that everything is blended on them. Blended to perfection if at all possible. Now, I'm the makeup artist that likes to wait till the end to let my clients see they look, but someone FaceTimed her and she did get a slight peek. So I ain't too mad at her, but I definitely wanted her to wait till the end. Now, I told y'all she was trying to be an IG baddie, so I had to give her some mascara on her bottom lashes, which to me definitely gives that pop. And sometimes, even if you don't use liner on the bottom, when you apply that mascara on the bottom lashes, you kind of create a liner, like a very light liner. Just something to think about. Something else to consider when applying mascara to your bottom lashes is using a floss pick. They tend to have very micro bristles that would give you much better results. We are almost done with this look. We are at one of my favorite parts of the process of a makeup glam coming together. The lip combo, it says so much about a person. It says so much about the look that you're trying to achieve. And with me, being that I specialize in natural and soft glams, baby, that brown and pink lip combo is going to hit every time. Okay, like it never fails me. It just looks so demure, as a lot of people would say today. And so, because my client is a little bit more on the fair skin side, I did not use as dark of a lip liner as I would with any other client. So I did go a bit lighter with her lip liner. And then from there, I'm going to fill in her lips with my favorite pink lip gloss. It's called Boss Friends from Sound Off Cosmetics. It's just something about that pink. Like, it just matches my brand. It matches me. It's amazing. And I highly recommend it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. As soon as I zoomed in on this part of the video, I couldn't help but to admire my work, because I have not added a filter to this video. Like, that is her makeup and it looks so good. Don't y'all agree? And now for the final spray, along with the final brush, just to make sure it all blends in together. And then I did add some more highlighter just because it added that extra spunk, that extra jazz to her makeup look. And I must say, I did a really good job. Even though I have some of my flaws that I noticed, all in all, she was happy, I was happy, we're all happy. I hope you all enjoyed this video. My goal is to release at least one video a month, just right now, until I get into rotation of doing this on a regular basis. But in the meantime, feel free to like this video, feel free to share it, make sure you subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Much love and many blessings. Mwah.